Have you ever wondered why the girl who laughs with everyone suddenly goes quiet around you? Why she lights up with others but lowers her voice, shifts her posture, or avoids eye contact when it's just the two of you? It's not rejection, it's risk. And that changes everything, because when a woman starts to feel something real, she doesn't always become more obvious. She becomes more cautious. And most men miss it, not because they're blind, but because they were never taught how to see. Today that changes. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 subtle yet powerful signals, unspoken, subconscious, and often misunderstood, that reveal when a woman likes you but doesn't want you to know just yet, and the woman you assumed had no interest. She might be losing sleep over how to hide what she hopes you'll finally notice. Here at Stoic Station, we don't chase women, we decode them, not for tricks, for truth. Because attraction isn't a performance, it's a language. And once you learn how to listen, you stop reacting and start leading. So if you're ready, start this journey now. Like this video to show you're in. Subscribe to Stoic Station so you never miss a signal again. And drop a comment below. 1. I've seen these signs before. Or 2. I've missed them until now. Let's hear where you stand. Your story matters here. Now stay with me, because the first sign is one most men always misread. And once you see it clearly, you'll never mistake her silence for disinterest again. Sign number 1. She talks to everyone except you. It's easy to misread this as disinterest. You see her light up with others. She's playful, expressive, effortless. But when it comes to you, her energy changes. She goes quiet, reserved, careful. And in that quietness, most men panic. They assume they're being ignored or dismissed. But the truth? Her silence is a sign of significance. When a woman lowers her voice around you, it's not because she's bored, it's because she's alert. Her silence is not distance, it's tension. Not rejection, but reverence. She's not trying to push you away. She's trying not to mess things up, because your presence doesn't feel ordinary, it feels charged. It makes her second-guess her words, overthink her sentences, worry that she'll say too much or not enough. And so she chooses the safest path. She lets you lead. That's not weakness, it's vulnerability. And if you can't see that, you'll miss the very moment she was hoping you'd notice her most. So don't rush to fill the space. Don't flood her with noise just to escape discomfort. Lead with quiet strength. Ask her something simple, but sincere. Make it safe for her to unfold. Let your tone say what words can't. You don't have to impress me. Just be. Because the man who creates that kind of space isn't just liked, he's remembered. Sign number 2. She looks, then looks away. You catch her eyes on you, not once, but again and again. And every time you meet her gaze, she looks away like she's been caught doing something she shouldn't. Most men brush it off, thinking it's a coincidence, or worse, that she's not interested. But what you just witnessed wasn't disinterest. It was a moment of emotional exposure. That glance she gave you, it was unguarded. That sudden retreat, it was instinct. When attraction kicks in, the body reacts before the mind can edit. Eye contact triggers vulnerability. Her pulse quickens. Her brain lights up with dopamine and uncertainty. And in that flood of feeling, her first response is to protect herself. Not from you, but from the possibility that you might see right through her. This isn't about playing games. It's about emotional risk. She looks at you because she wants to be seen, but not judged, not rejected, not made to feel foolish for feeling something she can't explain yet. So when your eyes meet and she turns away, don't harden, don't chase it with intensity. Instead, soften. Hold your gaze for a beat longer than usual. Let it say, "You're safe here. I saw you, and I didn't flinch." Because the man who meets her nervousness with calm presence, not pressure, is the man she'll remember long after the moment passes. Sign number 3. Her replies are late but full of effort. You glance at your phone, still no reply. Hours pass. Your mind starts spinning. Maybe she's not interested. Maybe she's ignoring you. Maybe you said too much. But when her response finally comes in, it's long, thoughtful, playful, maybe even filled with emojis or little inside jokes. And in that moment, what you're holding isn't just a message. It's a window into her uncertainty. Because when a woman likes you, texting isn't casual, it's calculated. Every word is weighed, every sentence reviewed, not because she's playing games, but because she cares. She wants to get it right. She wants her words to land the way her heart feels them. The delay? That's not disinterest. That's her battling overthinking, wrestling with the hope that what she sends will pull you closer, not push you away. So don't punish her caution with coldness. If her message carries effort, meet it with presence. Make her feel like your reply isn't just a reaction, it's a continuation. Let your tone turn the conversation into connection. Don't make her feel like she's taking a test she might fail. Show her that with you, she doesn't need to perform, just express. Because the man who responds with warmth, not impatience, builds something stronger than attraction. He builds trust, and trust for her is the beginning of everything. Sign number 4. She turns cold when you mention other women. You bring up another woman, maybe casually, maybe without even thinking, and suddenly the energy shifts. Her smile dims, her responses grow shorter. She looks away, crosses her arms, or changes the subject altogether. Most men miss this moment, dismissing it as moodiness or distraction. But what you just witnessed was a quiet emotional reflex. Jealousy dressed as indifference. She doesn't want you to know she's affected, because to reveal that would be to reveal feeling, and feeling, especially when it's still unspoken, is vulnerable ground. So instead of leaning in, she retreats. She shields herself with silence or sarcasm, hoping you won't notice the sting behind her composure. But it's there, and it's real. This isn't about manipulation, it's about uncertainty. She's asking herself 100 questions in that instant. Does he like her? Was that a test? Am I even in the running? And rather than show how much she cares, she closes the door on the conversation to protect whatever dignity she still feels in your presence. So don't tease her with comparisons. Don't fish for reactions. If you sense discomfort, honor it. Shift the conversation. Let your emotional intelligence speak louder than your ego. Because the man who sees through the silence and doesn't exploit it is the man she'll trust with what she's too afraid to say out loud. Sign number 5. She criticizes your ex. She doesn't know your ex, but she has an opinion. Maybe she questions her decisions, her values, or even subtly mocks her appearance or choices. At first glance, it might seem like casual banter, but don't be fooled. When a woman speaks negatively about your past relationship, it's rarely about the woman who came before. It's about the space she hopes to occupy next. This kind of critique isn't random, it's calculated, not out of malice, but out of quiet competition. She's positioning herself not just as someone new, but as someone better, someone wiser, someone who sees your value in a way your ex didn't. And while it may come off as playful or passive, the intent is deeply personal. A woman doesn't challenge another woman, especially one she's never met, unless she sees herself as a contender for your attention. But here's where many men misstep. They take the bait, they engage in the gossip, they nod in agreement, thinking it builds connection. But what it really does is diminish both women and your own sense of grounded presence. So listen, but don't linger. Acknowledge her words with maturity, but don't fan the flames. Rise above the comparison. Let your energy communicate that what impresses you isn't who tears others down, it's who builds something real with grace, with depth, and with clarity. Because the man who doesn't need to pit women against each other is the man who's already won something more important than approval. He's won self-respect. And that's the kind of presence a woman remembers. Sign number 6. Her voice changes around you. You've heard it before. Her voice, but softer or higher. Maybe there's a playful rhythm to it, a melody that doesn't quite match the way she speaks to others. It slips out in laughter, in teasing, in the way she says your name just a little differently. And you wonder if it means something. It does. When a woman is drawn to a man, her voice often betrays her before her words do. This isn't a rehearsed tactic, it's a biological reflex, her body adjusting to signal warmth, openness, and attraction. Sometimes it's a higher pitch that conveys excitement. Sometimes it's a gentler tone that wraps each word in softness. Either way, it's not the version of her voice she gives to the world. It's the one that comes out when she wants to be felt. Most men overlook this shift. Some mock it, others doubt it. But the man who truly listens beneath the words recognizes the signal for what it is: a quiet offering of presence, a subtle pull toward connection. So don't mimic it to get a laugh. Don't spotlight it to make her self-conscious. Just stay grounded. Respond with calm energy. Let her voice rise without interruption. Because when a woman feels safe to let her softness emerge, and you hold that space with quiet confidence, she doesn't forget how you made her feel. She remembers who you allowed her to be. Sign number 7. She laughs at everything you say. You say something mildly amusing, something you'd barely consider a joke, and she bursts into laughter. Not a polite smile, but a real laugh, like you just said the funniest thing she's heard all day. And it keeps happening. Even the simplest comments seem to light her up. You start to wonder, is it really that funny? The truth is, it's not about the punchline, it's about you. When a woman is drawn to you, her perception shifts. Your words carry more weight. Your presence, even in silence, feels warm, and laughter becomes a way to connect without confessing. She's not laughing because the joke is brilliant. She's laughing because you said it. Because something about you, your voice, your rhythm, your calm, puts her at ease, stirs something in her, and makes her want to stay close to that feeling. Don't let your ego inflate, but don't dismiss it either. Her laughter is a signal, a soft green light that says she feels good around you. And more than that, it says she wants you to know. So meet it with quiet strength. Smile. Let it land. You don't need to turn it into a performance. Let her laughter fill the space, and in doing so, recognize that what she's responding to isn't entertainment. It's energy. And if your presence alone is enough to spark joy in her, then you've already said more than any joke ever could. Sign number 8. She dresses up when you're around. You see her walk in and something shifts. Her hair is styled, her outfit intentional, her scent noticeable, but not overwhelming. There's elegance in the way she carries herself, and none of it feels accidental. Maybe she doesn't say much, but her presence speaks louder than words. She dressed for the world, yes, but she's hoping you would notice. Women don't elevate their appearance without thought, especially not repeatedly, and especially not in your proximity. Behind every detail, the choice of earrings, the color of her lipstick, the curve of her perfume, is a quiet form of hope. Hope that you'll see her not just as attractive, but as magnetic. Hope that your gaze will linger, not out of hunger, but out of admiration. This isn't vanity. It's vulnerability disguised in beauty. It's a soft way of saying, I want to stand out to you. And whether she ever says those words aloud or not, her effort is the message. So don't respond with lines or tactics. Don't turn the moment into leverage. Simply acknowledge her presence with sincerity. A gentle compliment, a look that says you see her effort and you respect it. Because when your attention carries appreciation, not agenda, you give her what she actually wanted all along, to feel valued, not just seen. Sign number 9, she reciprocates physical contact. You reach out. Just a light brush on her arm, a casual touch during conversation, and at some point later, she returns it. Maybe it's her hand grazing your shoulder. Maybe it's the gentle tap of her fingers when she laughs. It's subtle, almost forgettable, but it isn't meaningless. For a woman, touch is one of the most telling forms of expression, and unlike words, it's nearly impossible to fake without emotional alignment. When she mirrors your physical openness, it means something deeper. She feels safe in your presence, safe enough to meet you there, safe enough to let the unspoken space between you grow warmer. It's not about seduction, it's about trust. And if she's initiating or returning your touch, it's because her body is signaling what her heart hasn't yet said aloud. I want to stay close to this energy. This is where most men falter. They mistake her comfort for invitation and rush the moment. But true masculine strength knows how to hold space without conquering it. It knows how to sense warmth and respond with calm, not hunger. So don't escalate. Don't try to capitalize on connection. Let it breathe. Let it build. Because the man who reads her body language with presence instead of pressure is the one who turns a spark into something sacred. Sign number 10. Her friends suddenly notice you. At first it feels random. Her friends begin to follow you online, smile when you pass by, or strike up conversations that seem just a little too intentional. But it's not by chance. It's coordinated curiosity. Because when a woman is drawn to you, she doesn't keep it to herself. She shares it with the people she trusts most. And once they know, they start watching. Her friends aren't just being friendly, they're paying attention. They're reading your tone, your posture, your presence. Not to judge you, but to understand what she sees in you. They're measuring your words against her hopes, wondering if you'll make her laugh the way she said you do, trying to figure out if the man she talks about in private matches the one standing in front of them. This isn't a test you pass by performing. It's one you pass by being consistent, being grounded, being real, because while you may be interested in her, it's her circle that often decides whether you feel like a threat or a fit. So stay gracious. Let your character speak louder than your charm. Because the man who carries himself with quiet integrity doesn't just attract a woman's attention, he earns her trust. And in the long run, that's the only currency that truly counts. Maybe you've seen some of these signs. Maybe you've ignored them or overanalyzed them or assumed they didn't mean anything. That's normal. Most men are taught to look for certainty, but in real connection, it's rarely that obvious. Women don't always show interest in ways that make you feel powerful. Sometimes they show it through hesitation, tension, subtle shifts in energy, because when they care, they get cautious. What I've walked you through isn't about tricks or decoding games. It's about awareness, presence, the ability to notice softness where most men look for signals of dominance. That's the difference between a man who reacts and a man who leads. And if you start showing up with quiet strength, you'll see it too. Those little moments that used to confuse you will start making sense. The truth is, when a woman likes you, she rarely tells you directly. She shows you in fragments, in glances, in careful texts, in laughter that lingers longer than it should, in the way her friends suddenly start showing up in your orbit. None of it is loud, but all of it is honest. And your job isn't to chase those signs, it's to meet them with steadiness, to stop needing validation and start leading with calm confidence. That's what earns her trust, not just her attention. So if something in this resonated with you, don't rush to act. Breathe, notice, and remember, the man who sees clearly doesn't need to impress. He just needs to stay grounded. And that's who you're becoming, one moment of awareness at a time. If this message put words to what you've quietly felt, but never quite knew how to explain, then let it be a turning point. Not in your pursuit of her, but in your return to something far more powerful, self-trust. Like this video. Subscribe to Stoic Station and drop a comment below. I lead from presence, not pressure. Let this be the moment you stop guessing and start becoming. Calmly, clearly, without apology.